Hey guys, it is Bridal here, and welcome to episode 44 of our Liverpool Career Mode series. In today's episode, we're going to be focusing on the Netherlands playing in the World Cup. There's 3 games for you guys there, just checking out how we do in the group stage. And while those games are going to go on, I'm going to talk a little bit about them, but at the same time too, talk about our team going ahead. I'm going to give you a bit of a preview of what we've done, and also let you know what's coming up too as well. So with this episode, after this, we're going to have the rest of the World Cup. You guys can see that in the next episode. And then the preseason, then we'll get into the actual games. So 2 more kind of off-season episodes, and then we'll be back into the next season for Liverpool. But I'm going to talk right away about what I've done with this team and cut to the chase. Because, you know, it's nice to see the actual pictures of what I did. And I'll show that in a later episode. But I've already done this stuff. I want to let you guys know what is going on. And keep you guys aware of what's been going down for us on the transfer market. So we'll start off right away with, you know, getting a bunch of different offers in. There was plenty of offers for some of our, you know, great players, and most of them I was rejecting, a lot of them for Suarez. And with that said, I wasn't really thinking of doing anything regarding that because we've already talked about, you know, really keeping our core players as is and being overall pretty happy with them. And, you know, these guys that offer, you know, money for these players, they're not necessarily offering a lot of money. So in those cases, I'm just like, we shouldn't really do this, and you never really get the full amount of the money anyway. So we avoided making any deals like that and really just kind of focused on some players that we could bring in to start that weren't game-changing, but pieces that would really help us going ahead into the next season, or at least guys that I was very interested in bringing in. And the first person was kind of a guy that I talked about in the past video. Not a lot of you guys really brought him up, but Scott Lennon actually in the comments had a really good thing to say about him. And the thing was about bringing in Aaron Cresswell is that Scott Lennon put it best. It's like bringing in 2 players in a weird way, because what that does is it lets Alaba kind of be a little bit more free in his role. Usually we have to have him back in that left back position, and he's playing 75 to 80% of our games. And, you know, if not, have Johnson or Kelly playing on that position if he needs a break. Bringing in Cresswell is a guy that can play that position whenever I want, and if I don't want him to play, then Alaba can play there. But what this does for Alaba is he can play all over the middle of the field. He's great in a bunch of different positions, and, you know, from my experience of playing with him a couple times in the middle of the field, I really enjoyed his play. And through the first couple pre-games from the season that I've played thus far, I've really actually enjoyed his play overall, and I'm happy to say that it seems like it's working pretty good to start, and that's a great thing there. But moving on from that, I talked about a little bit about Quartez not being my #1 pick for kind of like a backup center back. And we have Danny Wilson coming into his rank now, where he's going to be able to have a bit of an impact on the team. But I wanted to bring in someone that could also have a pretty big impact in that type of role as well. And I brought in Steven Kolker, and I believe I'm saying his name right there. I'm not 100% sure, so pronunciation, please let me know. But yeah, no, I brought him in from Tottenham. And I really have enjoyed playing with him in the past. And he's a young player that, you know, was on loan to Swansea, had a good role there. And I'm not too sure how well he's done this season for Tottenham, but I've really enjoyed playing with him in FIFA in the past. And he is a little bit more of a agile defender, which I like to have. And for the price I was able to bring in, both Cresswell and Kolker, I've been very happy with what I've been able to do with the money there. Now, besides from that, I really haven't done that much except for one major role or one major move. And I've talked about constantly how I would not really make any changes without you guys in letting you know what's going on. But this is the one time that I pulled the cord, and it has to do with the fact that some of you guys have not been extremely happy with Lewandowski. There's been people that have really enjoyed his play, but not everyone's been a big fan of him coming into the team. And as he's stayed here for a little bit longer, I've realized that he was a player that a lot of people actually just in FIFA, you know, videos or, you know, career modes in general looked at as a player that they could bring in, and he seemed like a very good choice for that. So he seemed like a popular pick in that you know, a lot of people were picking him up, and I don't know, I felt like, okay, he was doing a great job, but he was a bit one-dimensional at points. He has a great shot, and also he's great in the air, but compared to Suarez at points, I wasn't, you know, really getting the impact that I wanted from him. So I was never going to sell him because that was never my intentions. But when Barcelona and Real Madrid came knocking with these quite large offers, and it looked like I could get a lot of money, you know, up the ante on those deals, I did. Barcelona said, no way, we're not going to take £40 million from you. That's not enough. But Real Madrid said, yeah, sure, we'll do that deal. And I was really happy with this, actually, because we brought him in for, I don't know for sure, it was maybe like 10 to 13 million pounds. And we sold him for 40 million pounds in just a season. And yeah, I know, bit of a impact move there that I make without really talking to you guys about it, but I felt like it was something that you guys have been asking for Lewandowski to leave at points. I didn't put it to the polls, but I thought, okay, this is something that we can do, something that's not going to drastically change the team, because he has been a player that we brought in one season, never really a Liverpool player at all, so it's kind of just a guy that we brought in and a guy that we could make leave, and really we just get a bunch of money to put towards something else. And so I did that. That's what's happened there, and that's a big move of the offseason, obviously, because there's a lot of money coming in for us. But who I brought in was a bit of an interesting circumstance, because I thought about waiting, I thought about not doing anything, but I pulled the cord again on this, and I brought in Edinson Cavani. And the reason for this was I had pick of the litter guys. I could choose whoever I wanted to in this position, because we had already, I think it was like 33 million pounds that were in our purse. We had a lot of money to spend anyway, and then we just added, you know, obviously they cut some of our money away, but I think it was around 30 million extra pounds from the trade, or from the transfer of Lewandowski, and we just had all this money sitting here. I could bring in anybody I want minus Messi. So I looked at all these possible circumstances, I looked at all these possible players that we could bring in, and I came down to Cavani because he's a guy that, you know, you're going to send, much like Suarez, and I don't know, but it kind of seemed like a fun beat to take that. I looked at Karim Benzema, but I didn't really want to bring a player from Real Madrid back to Liverpool after kind of giving them the better player, if you want to call it that. They're even pretty much an overall, but that was one thing I looked at, and there's a couple other guys I looked at too, but Cavani seemed like the guy that would be a lot of fun to have for a narrative standpoint. And, you know, I don't know what nationalities play. I don't think nationalities play in at all into the career mode, but from what I've played, because I've had him in my ultimate team, he is an absolute beast of a player. And the cool part about Cavani is that he's able to move on the ball amazingly well, a lot better than Lewandowski. He still has the shot that Lewandowski has, and he still has a bit of that height and presence in the box that makes him a really great all-around player. And Luis Muriel from Udinese has been a player that a couple of you guys have constantly mentioned, but he really seems like a popular choice again. And I'm not trying to, you know, say that I don't want the popular player, but what I'm trying to go for is someone that I felt like was a bit different. I know Cavani's an amazing player, and probably plenty of people have him in their own career modes, but I thought it would be an interesting kind of story beat to go there, bring him in, and you know, again, I've only played a couple of preseason games thus far, but really have enjoyed his play as well. So that's what I've done thus far, and we still have quite a bit of money to spend. My only issue I have now is I feel like we have too many midfielders in the roles that we have currently, so I'm going to be looking at that potentially, shaking that up a bit. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with these players. And you know what? I forgot one more guy that I brought in from the Netherlands squad, actually. Played a lot with Afellay. He got transferred to Barcelona, and I think he was at £7 million. I think that was the price. Not 100% sure. But I know for a fact when I brought him in, I didn't have to pay any extra, and it was an easy transfer too. So I brought in Afellay to play in the wings, an actual, I believe, right mid there to play in that role. So a guy that probably my favorite player that I've played with on the Netherlands squad. So I made some moves there, and for lack of a better term, I feel kind of bad because I didn't really go into a lot of the guys that you guys were really asking for in the comments. And I did make a big push for that I wanted you guys to talk about stuff. But what I want to say is that it is not done. There's still things that I can do. And yeah, I'm going to make maybe one or two more moves. And these moves are going to be more kind of transferring of the players, because I played around with it now. And specifically, I played with Merkel, Cavani, and Suarez together. And oh, it's so good. It's so good, guys. I cannot express that enough. I'm super excited for Season 3 now because we have these players in our arsenal, along with the fact that we also have Holtby 2 is another guy that can play in that role and really makes me happy. So all these amazing offensive players, and then to back it up as well, we have a lot of depth. And going into the Champions League, going into hopefully having long stretches and long runs in the next season, that's going to be great. But I will continue to read what you guys say and continue to bring that into account. We don't really need anything right now. We're pretty much at the point of, you know, this is what we got, this is really good. But yeah, let me know if specifically what I've said, if anything stands out to you that you think that we might need. I know it was a little bit early because you haven't really seen the team in action. But let me know, and I'm not going to be recording any gameplay up until that point. So all the videos coming up next, I'm not going to be moving the FIFA 13 ahead because I actually got a new game capture card now. And all this old footage that I have, I want to get done. I want to get it edited before I move on to new stuff that's going to look a lot better, a lot nicer. And hopefully I'm going to do some really cool things with the commentary as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. You can see that we have moved on from the group stage. Not too hard. A couple close games there. Overall, a lot of fun playing with the Netherlands and getting a little bit of a break from what we've normally been doing, and you know, interesting to play against teams that are completely different than what's the norm. But yeah, stay tuned for next episode, episode 45, where we'll be jumping into the actual knockout stage of the World Cup, and after that we'll be going on to the preseason. Thanks guys for watching, and stay tuned for more in the future. Cheers.